to another episode of New to Me. I'm Stephen Michael Zach, and today, yes, we are taking a look at the Falcon Eyez F7 pocket light. I'm super excited to have this in the studio. Let's jump in and take a closer look. Okay, so jumping right into this review, let's put this aside and talk about what this comes with. First off, the pouch, and again, it is a soft pouch. I do like this strap thing. It's fine. It's pretty good. You can strap it to your wrist and take it with you. Now, when you open up the pocket light, of course, you get the double-sided little mount here, which is very, very cool. You get a shoe right here, and this stuff is all metal. And of course, you get your USB to USB Type-C. And you do get these little white clips, which I absolutely love, because it really helps you kind of keep your wires in straight. So that is what is inside the pouch. Now, one thing again where I say the Pixel has both the bowling and Falcon Eyez Beat is you could actually put everything into the case, and it is a semi-hard case. This is just a pouch. Don't drop this on something, it might crack the screen, your RGB lights. And of course, you can't put all your extra stuff inside. You have to keep that in a separate place. I mean, I guess you can squeeze it behind there, but you're gonna scratch it up. There's really just room for the light itself. Next, let's take a look at the diffusion and the egg crate, and they are pretty good. And I see what everybody is saying about these little straps here. These are going to tear immediately. I already know these are going to tear off. What you might want to do is punch a hole with a hole puncher through here and just tie a rubber band on if it breaks. That's probably the easiest fix that you're going to get. But these are, both of them are very flimsy. So hopefully, too, they'll either make something else, or somebody will come out with, like a third party will come out with a better cover for these, because these things are going to be popular, and you can just buy those when these break. Okay, so let's talk about the Falcon Eyez light itself. First off, the front panel is not as diffused as the Pixel or the Bowling P1. Now, size-wise, you can see it is the largest. It's thicker than the Pixel. But it's the same thickness as the Bowling P1. So, but it seems to have the least amount of diffusion on it. Now, flipping this over, it's got a USB-C on the top, and of course, it only has one mounting point. I wish there were more mounting points, but there's a lot packed into this, so I understand why there isn't. Let's take a look at the operating system here and the dials. You get one power button, you get one toggle button that you can push in, and you get one scrolling button. And on the back, you get a circle RGB chart, which is pretty accurate, and you have your screen, and the power button also works as a set button. So let's go ahead and turn this on. And you have to hold it on for a bit. It takes a while, not as long as the Pixel. And right away, this thing goes from 100% power to 0, and you're at 9,000 Kelvin. Goes from 9,000 Kelvin all the way down to 2,500 Kelvin. So very, very, very powerful. A huge, huge spectrum. Next, we're going to click over into the RGB. And of course, you can adjust it from 1 to 0. And what you're going to do is you're going to hit the toggle button, and you can dial in what you want. Let's go to 240, which is a nice blue color. There's 240, and then if I want to change the saturation, I'll push in the toggle button again, and I can adjust the saturation as well. So just like the other two lights, this is very, very, very usable, very quick. Now let's go ahead and hit the set button again, and we're going to go into the special effects mode. And not only are there a lot of special effects packed into this, but they give you this little chart, and not everything is even on the chart. It stops at like 18, and there's like 2 more things which I haven't figured out. But first off, you're going to get things like your police light, your ambulance light, your fire light here, and there's your first lightning, your second lightning. Then you're going to get this kind of HSI demo slow, and it kind of just goes, I think, really slowly through all the RGB. And could be put in the background if you're doing like a restaurant scene and you want the background to change every so often. It's like part of the ambiance. You could definitely do that. Let's go ahead and go up to the next one, which of course is a faster HSI demo, so you can cycle through it a little bit faster. Next is going to be your TV, which is very cool. And then up one more is, of course, candlelight, which is very cool. And then the next one is something, and I'll turn it on in a minute, but the next one is something I'm really glad is included on this. It's something that I only have on my Rotolight, and that, of course, is paparazzi flashes, which is very, very cool. They included it on this. And then you also get a strobe light. Now, unfortunately, you can't control the speed of the strobe light. Hopefully, in a firmware update, you will be able to, because that would be cool. And then 12, you get this other cool thing called headlights. So if you're doing a nighttime scene and you want to fake headlights going by, this will do it for you, and you no longer have to do the poor man's process. Now you can kind of, line two of these up or just line one of them up on either side of your car when you're, faking your driving scene, and you don't have to spin any lights. Next up, of course, is a hazard light. And then you get like a flashing red, a flashing green, and a flashing blue. And then finally, you get your party lights here, which is very cool. And then you get like a faster party light. And then you go up to 19, and you have this heart emblem here. Now, I think this is a favorite, and I think there's might be a way to set it. I'm not really sure what the heart means. If anybody knows what the heart is, drop it in the notes below. But I believe that's some way to save your favorite setting. And right now it's set on this kind of like moving candlelight thing. Then the chart is over, and there are no more things on the chart. But when you go up one more, you get a crazy flashing RGB. Not even sure why you would use this. And then, of course, scene off. So there you go. Very powerful, very compact, lots of goodies. Let's go ahead and stick this on the wall and check out the brightness. Okay, so the camera is set to 5600 Kelvin, and it is a 2.8, and we're at 800 ISO, and the light is set to 5600 Kelvin. Now, let's go ahead and show you just how far this can go. It goes from 56 all the way up to 9,000 Kelvin, and all the way down to 2500 Kelvin. So already you have an incredible spectrum here. And of course, like I said, it goes up in increments of 50, which is very cool. Now let's go ahead and add the diffusion, and I will show you how well this diffuses. There you go. Look how well that is diffusing the subject. It really works very, very well. Really love the diffusion. It's creating a very nice soft light, and you can definitely use this as your key light. Let's go ahead and check out the grid. And as you can see, the grid is absolutely amazing. It is cutting out the light and really focusing it toward Roxanne, and it just looks incredible. Now I am noticing very slight light bleed because, again, the connections here are not the best. They are not very tight. Like I said, hopefully a third party will come out with something better, or they'll redesign them. But it is doing the job that it's supposed to do, and it is doing it extraordinarily well. Okay, so who is this light for? Everyone. This is a fantastic device. Now let's talk about the cons, because there are quite a few. First off, just having this on for a few minutes, it is super, super hot, especially with the silicone on it. It's already very warm to the touch. The bowling is probably the coolest, followed by the P1. This heats up pretty quickly. There are a lack of mounting points on here, which is not a deal breaker. I just wish there were more, but it does have the magnetize function, the magnet function, so that's great. One thing I wish it came with was not a shoe, but a ball head, because as you saw on the light, I just had to mount it straight onto the light. You do get this double ball head here, but you'd have to adapt it. I really wish they would have included a ball head with this. Some other downers are the fact that the case can only hold the light itself. That's a big downside. Also, these silicone things, they work beautifully, but you'll note, and let me show you, let me put the white one on. You'll note that when I put these on, it's a shifting game in order to get them to not have any light bleed. You kind of have to turn it off first and get up front here, and you have to kind of position it just right, otherwise you're going to get some light bleed. And again, the straps are not perfect, and you are getting a little bit of light bleed around the edges with these, but not too bad, not crazy light bleed. And of course, the straps here are not very good. Some other things that I don't like about this, that the control wheel here is very sensitive when adjusting the brightness. So you are going to get, it is going to be very difficult to exactly, I mean, you can do it, but it's going to be a little bit difficult to exactly nail your brightness control. Now, the cons, this thing is super powerful bright. It has a huge color spectrum, which I really, really love, and the RGB is beautiful, and all the special effects that it comes with are fantastic. They really packed a lot into this little unit, and I will most likely be keeping this. Really love this. Now, my interest now is to possibly pit this against the brand new aperture light, the new M9 that's coming out. That actually has, it's not the M9, but it's like the updated version of the M9. Don't know what it's called, but I'd be interested to pit that against this and really see how these match up. But that's it. Let me know in the notes below what you thought, and if you have any questions or comments, you can drop them down there as well. And next week, I will be doing a comparison video between the Falcon Eyez, the Pixel, and the Bowling, so watch out for that. And with that, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and don't forget to mash the bell button to be notified when we drop a brand new video. I'm Stephen Michael Zach, and this is New to Me.